Hey everyone, this is Adam Zock, founder of Zegacy. What we're trying to do here is legitimize the lease to own transactions across the United States. Most people are familiar with for sale, most where you get a mortgage, most people are familiar with the traditional rental. And what we're doing here with the help of the state of North Dakota, which we got some Innovate grant ideas as a startup, we are launching this model to legitimize, provide transparency in a legal and fair manner to both sides, the investors and the tenants that want the option to own their home one day. And so, what does that look like? Essentially, investors can sign up on the platform. Same with the tenants. You fill in your criteria. So maybe the investor is looking for homes in Texas. They want to buy a $300,000 home and they want a certain return on their investment. Tenants that are looking for a home in, say, Dallas, Texas, they're willing to pay this much in rent. They have this for an option fee or a down payment, and here's their ballpark credit score. We get, hundreds of people filling out each side, and then our technology matches those individuals so that you can start communicating with them. And ultimately, the idea is that it's people first, property second. So instead of searching for existing inventory, hoping that investors can buy a rent to own investment or hoping that tenants can find a home listed as a rent to own. What we're doing here at Zegacy is actually connecting the two parties beforehand. So essentially, the investor would give the tenant the equivalent of like a rent to own pre approval letter. And what that looks like is the investor is actually buying the home, selling the home to the tenant on a lease with an option to buy. We can go through logistics of cost, pricing, who's on title, benefits, risk, and rewards, but just shooting this quick overview of what we're trying to do because our feelings is that rent to own's got a bad rap. Tenants have gotten taken advantage of where they're not on title, they lose their option fee, they're paying too much in rent. Investors try to, invest in rent to own properties, but maybe they end up losing money or it's not structured right or they're not following, local guidance and regulations. So our goal is to provide a transparent, legal, and fair way of conducting these transactions across any city, any state. Our experience with this, being a majority owner in Home Equity Partner, we've done over 70 transactions where we facilitated this with 30 full cycle deals where investors have bought in homes for tenants and the tenants have exercised their option to buy the home. Some of the deals go great, some of the deals don't go great. And so this isn't a perfect world, but what we're trying to do as this startup, getting some funds from the state of North Dakota, as getting additional funds to launch this idea, we really believe that there is an underserved market between a rental and a mortgage, both for tenants and for investors. For investors, they're always looking for ways to diversify, buy a cash flowing asset. There's some pros and cons to buying real estate as an investment property. For tenants, sometimes they don't have the right credit score. Maybe they don't have the full down payment. Maybe they just want the flexibility to test drive a home. And so the overall market is looking like companies like Rent to Own Labs or Rent to Own Org, where you're paying a monthly subscription for access to potential homes that you can reach out to the sellers directly, where there's existing inventory, or at least that's their value proposition. Or you have large companies like Home Partners of America, Divvy Homes, Landis, where these are great companies where they have set pricing. Maybe it's 1 to 2% down, but you have to be within their city and you have to meet their specific property and qualification requirements. So what we're doing is creating a matchmaking system on both sides so that investors input their criteria, tenants input their criteria, and you are matched individually. This doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a cash flowing asset as an investor. It doesn't mean that you're guaranteed anything from a tenant. But for us, what we feel is that this subscription based model where you're paying for access for the opportunity to get a rental property or you're getting access to have an investor buy you a home and sell it to you on a lease with an option to buy is something that we feel is much needed in the marketplace. And then us serving as the authority and being able to communicate to both sides and what's the best way to strategize this. So we have a lot more videos and content that we'll share with you. We have a podcast that we'll reference that we talk through lots of different details. So we're looking forward to seeing if we're a good fit to helping serve you today. Thank you.